Auzubillahiminash-shaytanir-rajeem. Bismillahir-rahmanir-rahim. Assalamualaikum. Ji ayanu pakhaira gale ni hao chudishume washmale. Ohio gozaimasu. Guten Morgen. Hola. Bonjour. Privyet. Kaifa hal? Halishuma chatori. Ahlan wa sahlan. Marhaba. Buna mucho gracias. Swabia balli kare aaya. Hoş geldin and ayo sayo khuyamora chi batto chi hal jot kali mera khairutan. And a very warm welcome to everybody who's tuned into PTV World and watching World this morning alongside my wonderful colleague who happens to be Miss Eesha Rehan. I happen to be Shahzad Khan. And we hope and pray that everybody out there is doing wonderfully well and that you're ready to kickstart your day with us. But first things first, ladies and gentlemen, we hope and pray that that everything which has returned to normalcy will always stay at normalcy as well. We as Pakistanis, alhamdulillah, have always wanted peace within our own country, within our own region. And that's exactly what we wish and pray for everybody out there, may wherever you be. Ladies and gentlemen, may Allah be always with you. May you get what you want in life. But I'm really sorry, I cannot actually, kind of have a conversation with Eesha for now, but we'll come back to that. But for now, first things first, ladies and gentlemen, there's a good news. I'm going to share that with you, and that is that Sajeel Satpara Sahab summits world's 7th highest mountain. Congratulations to him. Famed climber Sajeel Ali Satpara has conquered 8,167-meter high Dhaulgiri, the world's 7th highest peak located in Nepal, and that too without oxygen or porter support. The feat was confirmed by the Alpine Club of Pakistan. This is Sajeel Satpara's 9th 8,000-meter peak, which he climbed without bottled oxygen and without any support. Sajeel Satpara is the son of legendary Pakistani climber Muhammad Ali Satpara, who died while trying to summit K2 in February 2021. Wow, congratulations to Mr. Sajeel Satpara, for doing such a wonderful job and making Pakistan proud. And we certainly would want that in years to come, he will continue to make Pakistan proud. We are very proud of this feat that you have achieved as well. So coming back to Eesha. Hello Eesha, assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum assalam, Shahzad. I am doing absolutely great, and you know why that is.
What?
That is because we as Pakistanis belong to a very strong nation, and Pakistan does not back down or bow down in the face of aggression.
All right, but we'll come back to this. I'm really sorry, Eesha, that I'll have to keep you a bit quiet for a little more longer until, we kind of fix your mic. But ladies and gentlemen, there's another good news, and that is Pakistan Super League will start from May 17th. Will not really start. I think it needs to be resumed. And for everybody who's out there who've been following, I've been, kind of supporting Quetta Gladiators. The PSL 10 will be picking up from where it left. This was announced by PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi in a post on his Twitter handle. Mohsin Naqvi announced that the remaining 8 matches will be resuming from May 17th after they were postponed following the recent conflict with India. The final match of the league will be played on May 25th. All the remaining matches will be played in Rawalpindi. Well, that's the good news. I mean, that's the kind of good news that I actually wanted, and it's because of the fact that, certainly nobody will have to go to Karachi and in Rawalpindi. I think for everybody who's promised me tickets and passes, ladies and gentlemen, I think this is my time to go and see the games myself. In addition to this, yes, please.
And another exciting news is that Mike Hassan has been confirmed as the white ball head coach for the Pakistani cricket team, and PCB chairman Mohsin Naqvi has announced that the appointment of Mike Hassan has been appointed as the head coach, and said that Mike Hassan will assume the responsibilities of white ball head coach from May 26th. Mike Hassan will also currently head coach the Islamabad United team. Mohsin Naqvi has said that Mike Hassan and Akib Javed will together play an important role in the development and success of cricket.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful, but there's a bit of it that you missed out on, Eesha, and that is that, New Zealand's Mike Hassan, first things first, has never played international cricket, so he's always been in the first-class cricket. Not just that, Akib Javed Sahab has been appointed the Director of High Performance. I think that's, I mean, there needs to be a lot of debate, and if you want to kind of listen to that debate, please make sure that you tune into PTV Sports around 10 p.m. tonight. I'll be there. We'll make sure that that we kind of have this
The
conversation.
person that is most excited about cricket being resumed is Shahzad, and
Obviously.
you need to watch him host. He does it exceptionally well.
Thank you so much, Eesha, for saying that. It's for this tremendous support that you always show towards me. But there's been a tremendous support by all of those people who've invested in our Pakistan Stock Exchange. And the Pakistan Stock Exchange, I think this is a great news for everybody once again. Soars over 9% and highest single-day rise in 26 years, driven by IMF deal. The last, 3-4 words I might not like that much, but certainly if the Pakistan Stock Exchange is doing well, that certainly means that, that the bullish trend is being seen. People actually have trust and faith in Pakistan Stock Exchange, and which is why we see that. And not just that, over 345 million shares changed hands, reflecting renewed investor confidence and aggressive buying valued at rupees 21.98 billion. All right, and to speak about this, we're very lucky that we've been joined by Mr. Abdul NAJAM, who happens to be an investment advisor. Hello, Mr. Abdul Assalamu alaikum. Good morning. How are you feeling today?
Walaikum salam, Shahzad, Eesha, and to all our viewers around the world. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. I am feeling great, just like the Pakistani stock market. And how are you today?
Absolutely perfect. Looks like as if I have introduced another co-host of mine as well. So I think I like the fervor and zeal and the energy that you bring to our channel every time that you are on with us as well. So let's talk about the Pakistan Stock Exchange. How are we doing today?
It's a wonderful time, just as the uncertainty has reduced, and I would like to pay a special tribute to all our armed forces before we discuss the Pakistani stock market, because of their befitting response to India over the weekend. This whole rally which happened on Monday, it's all because of, like Eesha was saying, now Pakistan has emerged as a more secure, people are looking at Pakistan as a more confident country. So I would like to pay tribute to all our forces for all their hard work, for all their sacrifices, and it's all because of them that we have a prosperous nation today.
Thank you so much for saying that, and certainly there's no doubt in what you have actually said, and the resolve of Pakistani people, may it be Pakistan Armed Forces and the political leadership, was certainly amazing to see that how everybody stood together and behind our armed forces in giving them a befitting reply, and we will never shy away from doing that. But imagine, I think that's the question which everybody is now kind of asking, and that is that within those days what we have seen is that there was a lot of friction. And there's a lot of fragility that we could have experienced as well in terms of Pakistan Stock Exchange. How is it that it didn't really had an impact on the Pakistan Stock Exchange?
So, as you would have heard around the world, the one thing investors hate is uncertainty. So, when this whole conflict was going on, the day from Pulwama happened, there was a little bit of uncertainty in the stock market. And as soon as this cleared, the whole response was very energetic on Monday. And as we talked last time as well, that Pakistan's bull market framework, where you look at all the macro indicators and all the political situation, it is going in the right direction. So as soon as this uncertainty cleared, the whole response of the whole nation, of everyone involved in the stock market. I'll share my experience because I was looking at it over the weekend as well. So all of us were discussing on Sunday night that how will the response be, how will the recovery be. So people were like, we will buy anything and everything when the stock market opens. That is the reason, because in stock market there is a limit. Every particular company cannot rise more than 10% on one single day. So imagine when the whole index rose 9.5% on Monday, 95% of the companies were actually trading at 10% limit. This was the response of Pakistan stock market.
And such a rise we have not actually seen in the last 26 years as well. So I think people actually believe that, hey, you know what, because now the things are going to settle down, so this is the right time to buy. We truly get that. But in addition to this, because obviously there was a halt in trade and only intensified bullish momentum, how do you think that these halts actually contribute towards bullish momentums?
I think with the Pakistan Stock Exchange, the regulators have done a good job over last 2 to 3 years. This halt percentage has been increased from 5% to 10% for individual companies. So this is a very reasonable limit. Obviously, we should aim to make it more functional, increase this limit, but 10% in a particular day. So any price discovery which has to happen can easily happen over 1 to 2 days. So regulators are working on it to further increase this limit. And if this limit would not have been there, most probably we would have seen a bigger rally. But I think we are in the right
And you know,
direction.
exactly, and you know the Pakistani stock exchange market has been ranked as the third best performing capital market in the world. So how did this come to be, happen, and how can locals like me capitalize on this movement, and how can foreign investors also take advantage of this? And what does this set this stage?
अभी पहली तनख्वाह आई नहीं है, invest कहाँ करोगी?
Okay, भी बात सही है. लेकिन how does this set the stage for Pakistan's economy around the world?
So Eesha, wonderful question. And it's not just this year. Remember last year as well, we were amongst the best markets. This year, from 1 July 2024, the return has almost been 50%. And this is on the back of a return of 90% in FY24. So just imagine the returns which have been experienced by investors in Pakistan stock market, and all this is because of two reasons. One, when we were going through our troubled times in 2023, our companies were valued very cheaply. People were scared of the possible default. And then the second reason is the recovery has been very good. The interest rates have come down very nicely. Pakistan's relations with IMF, with USA, with China have improved a lot over the last 2 years. So the investor confidence has increased, and the whole, first the caretaker setup and then this political government has played a great role in making sure that that the recovery is not fragile, and all the Pakistani economic indicators are in the right direction. I would like to add that in times when Pakistan's bull market framework is in full flow, meaning macro indicators are in the right direction, good companies are available at good prices, the average return in an year is 35 to 40%. So I think if this, now Pakistan has emerged as a stronger nation, and all the indicators, the budget, everything is pointing in the right direction, we might actually see this for the next 1 to 2 years as well.
Exactly, and Abdul Rahman, before I actually move on towards how Pakistan is actually kind of shaping its cryptocurrency policy as well, one last question, and that is that, in days to come, because I think for anybody who's actually going to invest in Pakistan Stock Exchange, what they would want to see is that, how stable political affairs are, how, untoward situations will not be something that, that people will be facing in terms of their investments as well. So how do you see, these bullish trends, continuing over the past, or probably ahead of us, 1 week, 10 days, 20 days? So if you say that the economic indicators are in the right direction, for how long? Because, everybody is working on graphs these days. If you look at cryptocurrency, we have seen how people analyze graphs and charts. So how do you see Pakistan Stock Exchange charts as of now? Do you think this is the best time to keep? Do you think this is the best time to sell? Or do you think this is the best time to purchase?
So Shahzad, for the next 15 to 20 days, I think the number one event would be the budget. Now we are hearing rumors, and I'm very excited for this, that the government is actually thinking of reducing the tax on salaried individuals. So this would be a really big step forward for the Pakistan economy. And in terms of the long term, numbers speaks for themselves. When you invest in Pakistan stock market, you are actually becoming equal partners with top businessmen of Pakistan. So we have seen in our experience, there are two things which people actually worry about. One is all these political events. But for that, if you look at the last 25 years, all sorts of things have happened. We have had conflicts with India. We have had different political parties. We have had military rule. But the result is,
we have had floods.
From 1 January 1999, the index was at 1,000. Today, it is at 120,000. And the second reason which people face difficulty is they don't know what they are investing in. So for that, we have made detailed videos on different top companies of Pakistan on our YouTube channel. So if people take these two steps, just don't worry about the short-term volatility, have a longer view, and understand what they're investing in, I think they will make very handsome returns in the stock market.
Exactly, and that's exactly what you mentioned. I think the last time that we were in conversation, that we really need to think long term rather than short term as well, just for the education of people. Very quickly, let's come down towards cryptocurrencies, how countries have capitalized on it. Pakistan is showing up at the cryptocurrency party now, finally. How do you think it's going to help Pakistan's economy?
I'm not a very big expert on cryptocurrency, but a lot of people, I think there is some data on Binance that Pakistani individuals are ranked number 4 or number 5 in terms of the number of accounts which operate on Binance. So definitely people are doing it. Least government can do is bring them in the tax net. Because right now, let's imagine a scam happens. There is no one to go to complain to or regulate everything. So billions of dollars people have invested in crypto in Pakistan, but all is unofficial. So if the government brings it into the tax net, into the regulatory net, they will get taxes from it. People will feel more secure, and everything will work more professionally.
Exactly. And just one last and simple question, and it might take you a little longer to explain as well, because for people who have just entered into the salary net, like Eesha, finally, alhamdulillah, earning for themselves, how do you think they can actually invest in Pakistan Stock Exchange, who to go to, what people to speak
And
with?
what sectors to look into.
Yeah, and not just that, I think, you know, because there are so many agents, you might not know, you know, who's going to do a great job. And how many times do you think that we really need to listen to people, or do you think that we need to put in our own research? And if yes, how do we do that?
So there are multiple ways. There is a very easy way as well, where you can just become partners with people who are making up the KSC 100 index. So 100 companies make up the 100 index. If you just match those percentages, you will actually get the same result. Like the rally which we experienced on Monday, you would have also benefited 9.55% from that rally. So for this, if the record of Pakistan stock market is it doubles your investment on average every 4 years. So if you have any lump sum amount, you can invest it directly. If you are starting your saving and investing journey, just for reference, if you start saving 10,000 rupees per month and increase that amount by 10% every year, by the time you are retiring, let's say after 25 years, this would compound to almost 10 crore rupees. This is the long term return of Pakistan stock market. So it's for everyone. You can start with 5,000 rupees. If you have lump sum investment, it will welcome you. If you have small investments which you will do every month, it will be welcoming to you in the same manner.
Exactly. Thank you so much, Mr. Abdul Rahman, for being with us. Lovely to be in conversation with you. And thank you so much for, you know, bringing much energy to our program.
And the patriotism, we love that.
we certainly love that as well. So thank you so much for being with us. And not just that, I think me and Eesha actually broke a deal as well. And that is that, you know, because Eesha obviously is a newcomer. I'm sorry, Eesha, for doing this to you. But I think that a part of your salary needs to come to me as well.
Hey?
Because I've been doing a bit more work, you know, which you were supposed to do. And then so eventually we can decide mutually. So, okay, if we are to decide mutually, what percentage of your salary will come to me?
I think I will settle on giving you a big treat at the end of every month.
Yeah, I think that's good. No, not every month. I think it's just this month as well. And the entire team. We cannot forget the entire team. You know, the support that...
Everyone who has supported us through this time, and everyone has worked tirelessly, especially Sir Shahzad, who, you know, fought at the forefront of this war.
I think that time has come on to me where people now come to me and be like, Sir, hum aapko bachpan se dekhte hain. And I'm happy about it. Shukr alhamdulillah. Finally, I have people who come and say this to me as well.
And you know, talking about protecting our nation, we are so glad to announce that the UN has announced the Global Road Safety Week. The 8th annual UN Global Road Safety Week is being observed from today to encourage actions at all events to make walking and cycling safe. The UN General Assembly had mandated WHO and the UN regional commissions to plan and host periodic UN Global Road Safety Weeks to ensure as a platform for global and regional, but mainly national and local activities. According to data, road traffic injuries are a leading cause of death and disability worldwide.
Wow. I think that's a big round of applause. I think that was a good one. Thank you so much. And I think it's our responsibility as well that we look after people while they are on road as well, may them be on bicycles or foot. Ladies and gentlemen, now it's about time where I always mention every time when there's a death anniversary that we really need to remember the people who've contributed towards the arts and cultures and cinema and theatre, and which is why today we are actually observing the 4th death anniversary of renowned writer, columnist, cartoonist, TV producer and creator, Uncle Sargam character, Farooq Kaisa Saab. And he was born on 31st October 1945. Farooq Kaisar was famous for the promotion of the art of puppetry, caricature and children's literature in the country. He was well known for puppet shows, Uncle Sargam, which was introduced in 1976 in children's television show Khaliyan. He received many awards in recognition of his services in the field of art, including Sitara Imtiaz and Pride of Performance. He died on this day in 2021. Sir, may your soul rest in peace. And I think people might not know this as well, but Uncle Sargam was my neighbor for the longest period of time, and I've had the loveliest time and loveliest conversations with him and with his wife as well, and the immense contribution that they have made. He always used to worry about it, whether who's actually going to be the flag bearer of puppetry in days to come.
You know, that was such a candid moment that you shared with us, and we should remember all these people who contributed to our media and helping Pakistan become a strong nation.
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful, which is why I'm going to allow you to introduce our next guest.
All right, our next guest is someone very dear to us. She visited our show a few weeks ago. She has been going around Pakistan and has been exploring every site from Islamabad to Lahore to the north. We are very happy to announce that we have Tatiana from Belarus over here, who is an exceptional singer and a very peaceful diplomatic personality. Thank you, Tatiana, for being here. How are you feeling today?
Good morning. Thank you for inviting me again. It's a great pleasure to see you again in the studio. Well, my trip has been fantastic. I always knew that it would be amazing, but I couldn't even expect, and it was above all of my expectations, of
Wow,
course.
that's wonderful. I mean, you know, for us to kind of say that we're a very hospitable nation is different. You know, for people who actually come and visit Pakistan and then say that, you know, Pakistan was beautiful, people were hospitable is different. So please take us through, what have you been doing the last time you were here? I think it was 1 or 2 days that you landed in Islamabad. We had a bit of conversation about it. You sang Dil Dil Pakistan. I think what you need to do is take us through. First you went to Lahore, and in Lahore you went to Shalimar Garden, you went to Lahore Fort, you went to Food Street, you went to Lahore Museum. I mean, we do not, as of Pakistanis, have not been able to go to all of these places. Have you been to all of these places?
No, not
No,
every
really?
each and every one.
Uncle, isko please. Uncle,
Please,
auntie, isko
you
kahin
should
ghuma ke
take-
leke
you should
aaye.
take
Yeah,
it
please,
with
go
you.
ahead.
Yes, taking the opportunity and mentioning the hospitality of Pakistani people, I would like to take a couple of seconds and thank all of those people
Thank you
who
so
made
much.
my stay in Pakistan amazing. Ambassador Sajeel Khan, his spouse and their families who arranged my visit to Pakistan in the best way possible. Also my friend Maha Shafiq and her family who hosted me in Lahore, Miss Aisha Kamal, Amir Kamal and Hifas Amir, who showed me around Lahore, as well as Mr. Zulfikar Couture and Imtiaz Couture for providing me a good
Wow.
stay in Skardon. The last person, but not the least, Mr. Arif Aslam, the owner of the Shangri-La Resort, for his kindness and hospitality. So as you've mentioned,
First of all, a big round of applause for remembering all of these names. I think you've done a great job. Please go ahead.
so all of these people made sure that my stay in Pakistan would be comfortable, and they took a really good care of me. My trip out of Islamabad started from Lahore, and as you've mentioned before, I visited many cultural and historical places. Started from the Shalimar Gardens, and then I also visited the Lahore Fort, which was very impressive because I always appreciate historical places. And then I visited the Lahore Museum. The Lahore Museum was an interesting experience because I had some extra engagement with local people there, which I haven't experienced anywhere else. Where,
And how was your experience with the
groups
locals?
of people would come to me and they would start talking. They would be asking where I was from. They would ask to take a photo. That was something new, and I really enjoyed because it was communication with local people. So then I also visited, as you recommended me, the Food Street.
Yep.
And I visited the Kukudan restaurant
Yeah,
and Havali
Kuku's Den.
restaurant, where I managed to try some Lahori local cuisine. And also for the first time, I tried Haluda.
Faluda?
Faluda. Faluda. Because
Okay, what is Kaluda? That's something we haven't tried as well.
Yeah,
What else? Yeah.
before I came to Pakistan, I was well experienced in terms of food, but Faluda was for the first time. So in general, it was an amazing experience, and I enriched my inner world with all these visits and new experiences. and then I moved to Skardu.
Yeah, but I think what we need to do is that we need to share your pictures as well, and all of these times when the tensions were rising as well. Obviously, for us to see that the people over here who were traveling to Pakistan, or people who were traveling within Pakistan, alhamdulillah, were able to travel safely, go to wherever they would want to go as well. So I think at this point of time, we need to share your images and take us through your images, and I think that'll be something which will give you nostalgia, and there will be people out there, because we go out in 46 different countries thinking of coming to Pakistan. Pakistan.
This is Minar Pakistan, of course. There's Batshahi Mosque.
Yeah.
And this is inside the Shalimar Gardens.
Wow.
And this is already Skardu. We moved a little bit. And this is also Skardu.
Was it cold there?
The Buddha Rock.
Yeah.
The Buddha. And this is inside the Lahore Museum with some students.
Wow.
And yeah, this is near the Lahore Fort. This is again Minar Pakistan. So whenever I went, I tried to make some short videos, because I will be using them further for my blogs and some documentary movies. And for my subscribers, I was sharing like all the useful information about all the places I visited. And
Exactly. Well, that's wonderful. But I want to still, before we go to Skardu, I want to stick to the Lahore Food Street, because, I think that the variety of food that you get over there, and the richness of the culture that you get to see over there, the culinary richness of culture is something which is amazing. And for us, we actually have to plan trips to Lahore to just go to the food street. So other than Faluda, what did you eat?
It's difficult for me to remember all the new names.
You try sharing us the description of the dish.
The description. So there were some mutton dishes, of course. Since Pakistani people consume a lot of meat, so mostly I was introduced to many.
Nihari? Mutton?
Yes,
Pie?
yes, like chicken and mutton dishes, and of course different variations of
Tikka? Barbecue?
Yes.
Yeah.
Barbecues and karai. So,
How was it? And how did you feel after eating it? That's the question.
I feel fantastic. As you can see, I'm smiling, I'm happy, and I enjoyed it a lot.
But do you guys consume like a lot of masalas when in Belarus? So how was it? Well, for your taste buds to kind of experience something which was really new for your taste buds?
It's new, but as I've mentioned before, I was already familiar with Pakistani spices. Comparing to Belarusian cuisine, it's very spicy.
Okay.
But since my friends accompanied me everywhere, they would also mention that please make it a little less spicy than you would do it for us. And then I could manage, of course.
And did you try the naans as well? The tandoori
naans,
naan?
it's a separate story, because if I go further, since I was making videos about my food experiences, I would like to mention that the best naans I've tried were actually in Skardu.
Wow.
Yes, that's
The
true.
best trout fresh fish I ever tried in my life was in Skardu.
Did you go fishing in Skardu, by the way?
No, I didn't go fishing, but we went to the Tso Valley and we tried that freshly caught fish, for which I made a video that it was the best in my life. And Pakistan is amazing in fruits.
Yep.
So you have the best cucumbers on earth, you have the best watermelons, and I'm the person who never ate melons.
Okay.
But trust me, I had to make this video where I said that this is a moment when I started eating melons. Because your melons are the best, they're like fantastic. The taste cannot be compared to anything.
Thank you so much for saying that, because I think for us as Pakistanis, when we travel abroad, and the fruit is bland for us, for us, and that's
The
exactly
bananas,
what
the
we
apples.
crave for. Now imagine, so while you were in Skardu, cherries over there are really famous too as well.
Unfortunately, I was too late for the blossoming and too early for the actual fruits.
And I hope that you're not leaving right now, because the mangoes are the best as well.
Well, this is also a little bit unfortunate because I'm leaving in a couple of days, but my hosts were so kind that we already purchased yesterday a couple of mangoes, which are waiting for me at home. And when I return back from the studio, I will be able to taste some fresh mangoes.
They will be ripened by then.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm sure I'm going to love.
Wow, I think that's wonderful. And in addition to this, so you must have been gripping your, grip on a bit of Urdu, right?
Not only Urdu, but also some Balti words. I'm going back to Skardu, like, always.
Go ahead. Whatever you've
it's
learned,
like,
share it with our audiences.
It's like kuchu kuchu
Kuch,
or
kuch, hanji.
chale.
Chal.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Something nicer.
I've mentioned earlier, but
Thoda, thoda?
yes, thoda,
Thoda, thoda, yeah.
You know, for me, it's a little bit difficult to pronounce this
Obviously.
sounds because
Yeah.
we don't have in Belarusian language.
Exactly, because now if I actually kind of speak, like for example, Russian or Belarusian, I think that'll be really difficult for me as well, because the only word I know is privyet. I don't know if you know. Do you know the meaning?
Of course.
Yeah, privyet. Okay.
Salam and then goodbye.
Goodbye is privyet as well.
Bye. It's bye.
It's
Goodbye
bye?
is like пока.
So what is good morning?
Доброе утро.
Sorry.
Доброе.
So I'm going to give it a try. Wait, I'm going to spell it first and then, yeah, dobraya
Доброе утро.
utra.
Yeah, but this is in Russian. In my native language, it's добрая раница.
Okay.
You have to say both
do-
words.
Dobraya
Раница.
Raint
Раница.
Raita.
He's gonna say
Okay.
it now.
Dobraya utra and dobraya rainta.
Раница.
Ranica.
On a scale of 1 to 10, rate his pronunciation.
Okay, you go ahead. You
No,
give
no,
it a
no,
try.
I will
Let's
take on
see.
the task.
Then we'll do
Okay,
the
I
scale.
can teach you a shorter word,
Sure.
which is дякуй.
Sorry?
Дякуй.
Yakui.
Yeah, it's thank you in Belarusian language.
Yeah. Let me
Yakui.
write it down. I think I'm going to include it. I'm going to include it in all my hellos and hi as well. And my team is already like, it's too long. I think you need to cut short as well. But okay, now let's go to Skardu. So
Yeah.
Skardu was fun. How was the weather? And how do you think that there was a transition into what we speak about mutton and beef and barbecues in Lahore and nihari and pie? And all of a sudden you went to Skardu and there was lesser masalas, there was the best naans, they have
The
these
subtle
dishes.
flavors.
I don't know, I do not even remember the dishes that
Apricot
they make.
oils and
Yeah.
cheeses.
The Skardu will always remain in my heart.
Obviously.
And before I even left Skardu, I already mentioned that I should come back here again, and I promised everybody that I will plan my trip again next year.
Wow.
So, of course, one of the best places which now have a very special place in my heart is the Shangri-La Resort, because the amount of tranquility and peace of mind and unity with
the
the
connect.
nature this
Yeah.
place gave me, it's like enormous. And I will be recommending everybody to visit it someday. But also, like, I visited historical fortresses. I visited the cold deserts. I visited the mountains. I visited the waterfalls. I visited the lakes. And where else you can see all of these things at one place. The only thing I didn't see in Pakistan was the sea, but I'm sure I will see it next time. So speaking about Skardu, I have been mentioned it before. I am mentioning and I will always be mentioning that your biggest treasure, despite all this amazing heritage and landscapes and everything, are people of Pakistan, and they will always remain your main heritage.
Wonderful.
This kindness and hospitality and friendliness of your people is like unforgettable.
Thank you so much.
I will be taking with me memories of all this kindness and hospitality that I've been shared with me here. And whenever I used to go, people were very kind and they treated me as part of their families. Speaking about food in Skardu, as I've mentioned before, speaking about hospitality, by the way, it's the place. I was impressed. When you mentioned something like, last night we had a very nice naan, do you still have it? And they say, no, we finished. And then in 5 minutes, somebody goes to the shop and brings
Bring the naan.
fresh naan from the
Yeah.
oven just in front of you. So this is a level of hospitality.
Exactly. That's great. And very quickly, before we kind of wrap up this segment as well, there's one simple question, and that is that, my sister who lives abroad, she comes to Pakistan, and when she goes back, she's taking more money than she brought with her. How is it with you?
Yeah, it will be same thing. I will be taking with me memories. I will be taking some souvenirs for my friends and relatives, like some desserts like barfi and gulab jamun, some handicraft, silver-plated items, some like embroidered things. But I will be taking a lot of gifts with me also, because I received many, to be honest.
I think that's wonderful. It was lovely to have you. It was lovely for Pakistanis to have hosted you over here as well. And we would want you to kind of come back and, visit our sea, go to Karachi, go to Balochistan and all of these
And
areas.
you can more enthusiastically promote Pakistan as
Yes,
you were doing
definitely.
before, now that you have actually seen us and experienced everything.
Exactly. So very quickly towards the end, can we sing Dil Dil Pakistan?
Sure.
Yeah, let's do this. Yeah.
Esi zamin oraseman in que se va jana kaha bartira hai ye roshani chatara hai ye caravan dil dil Pakistan jan jan Pakistan dil dil Pakistan jan jan Pakistan.
Thank you so much, Tatiana, for being with us. Lovely to
Thank
be
you
in
very
conversation with you. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much for visiting
Thank you.
Pakistan. Please take your seat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Very kind of you. With that, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's one more interesting bit that we would want to share with you. You know, we certainly have a package. I don't know if you're sharing it today as well or not, but you know, there were a lot of memes people have been talking about while we were going through these days of friction.
Exactly. You know, when tensions were rising between these two countries, our Pakistani memers were taking the stage, and they were sharing such enthusiastic memes regarding the whole situation, and we love Pakistani humor.
Yeah.
So firstly, let's start off with the unity that the Pakistani people experience. So we have over here a picture. If we
It's
can
a
zoom in on it, let me read it out for you.
Yeah.
It is a picture of a hero, and it says that me telling my kids about the unity I saw in Pakistan from the night of 6th May 2025 to the night of 11th May 2025, because we as a nation were very
can I
united
share it?
together.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But the
Please
best part
read
of
it
it
out.
here is the smile of this meme. You know, so this smile says it a
There's a
lot.
smirk.
You know, it's the reaction. No, it's not the smirk as well. It's the reaction of having confidence when we speak about unity within the country. कि हाँ जी मुझे भरोसा है, मुझे एतबार है, सब अमन है, सब अच्छा. I think that's what the meme was all about as well. And it's not really a meme. I think it's reality.
It
Yeah,
is reality.
exactly. And that's the kind of smiles that all of us Pakistanis had in all of these previous
And,
days.
and not just that, I feel like the heroes that took the front stage were our Pakistani army and our armed forces, our GGISPR, our Sir Aurangzeb leading the Air Force. You know, there were a lot of memes about them as well, about how the bromance going on between them was so exceptional, and how
So it's
they,
not just the bromance, it's the romance as well. I mean, everybody, I think if we speak about national crush these days, ladies and gentlemen, it's AVM Aurangzeb, and everybody's kind of, you know, very sad to know that he's actually married. Obviously, he's going to be married. But, sir, you know, I think for all of our armed forces, a rich tribute to each and every one of you. But what does it say?
it says that there's a picture of Sir Aurangzeb, and it says that the fighter jet Rafales don't go down automatically before him, but he makes them kneel automatically before him.
Yeah.
He doesn't need a system to make the Rafale jets go down, but the Rafale jets automatically go down after seeing his face. This is the aura that he
Exactly.
has.
You know, the days that he took off actually became the weekend, right? You know,
Exactly,
I think that's what
exactly.
everybody's talking about. But ladies and gentlemen, to speak about this meme psychology, we are very lucky that we've been joined by Miss MALEEHA LATEEF, who happens to be a psychologist. Hello, Madam MALEEHA. Assalamu alaikum. How are you feeling today? Hello? Madam MALEEHA, आप हमारे साथ meme तो नहीं कर रही?
जी 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 आई एम विद यू
Miss
Madam-
Manahil, can you hear us? You have an exceptional experience of 30 the director of Impact for Kids, and you have been a counselor for behavioral psychology and autism. So what is your take on how memes are an exceptional culture, not around the globe, but also in Pakistan, and how are they impacting the youth and bringing us together?
Yes, okay. Thank you so much for having me on your show. So what I'm lately hearing a lot about these memes and its criticism and its impact on general public, especially the youth. So see, for the first of all, I think I'd like to say that memes is not just a new thing. We always have been having these kind of fun sarcasm in our print media and everywhere. It's just because of the internet and social media that we are now having a quick access to these memes. And I think it has its side and it has its good side as well. I'd like to speak about both of these things.
Sure.
So if I look at the good side, I think it just adds looks upon some issues, the critical issues, the especially if speak in terms of this war, the situation which was ongoing lately. I think it has played kind of a very a lighter role in the sense, because people, when it was kind of a humor which was was using as a coping mechanism, as a coping strategy for public. But on the other hand, the same time, I don't like the aspect where we disrespect the true issues, where some personalities or the situation or the event uh, is undermined because of these memes, and because some of the people cannot understand what exactly is the value behind these
True.
jokes.
True. And Miss Malia, that's exactly what I would want to speak up about. Now, imagine that with all of these memes, what we forget as an audience is that somebody is being picked up on, somebody is being objectified. And how do you think that, that within the very sphere of memes, people, I mean, obviously, we cannot say that to people and people are not going to abide by it because that's how the market is. So, how do you see when people are being objectified within memes? And how will it impact that?
Yes, I think it depends. It depends, especially if, again, I would say if we speak in terms of the ongoing situation which was there, the political condition, I think we needed respect and we needed some seriousness in terms of, not regarding the value and the weightage of the incidents which was going on. Yes, having said this, it does not mean that we're not only talking about any event or a particular personality or some or about the army or air force instance. But I think overall, if you objectify it, I would say the value, the actual content which is a reality, should not be demeaned by the use of these memes.
Exactly.
Um,
But Miss Malia, do you yourself see memes?
no, no, not really. It
How
was
do you
just.
avoid that? How do you avoid that? They're everywhere on internet.
Yeah, it's it's because of my daughter. She keeps coming to me and telling me jokes about the war. So I think I'd like to quote this example now, because she was very scared of she's doing her O levels. So she was very scared of the idea of having the war. People who are not aware of what's going on, because obviously it's a big threat. So she was coming up to me and she was telling me jokes and memes about the incidents. There I actually felt people were getting very relaxed, and the actually effect was being diffused because of these memes. I watched a very few, but on my own personally, I don't I think I don't have time to watch these kind of memes and
And
stuff.
just
But
connecting with this, madam, one last question which I would want to pose towards you, and that is that thank you so much, for sharing with this example with us, first of all. Now, imagine that there's been so much of misinformation and disinformation on internet that it actually kind of is difficult and challenging in these days to kind of know whether what is right and what is wrong and what is, truthful and what is not, what is responsible journalism. How do you think in days to come it will have an impact on us as a society?
I think see, the trends are changing. I would say the trends are changing. So these kind of memes, if I look at my childhood, we used to have these kind of memes or the jokes or the fun part in print media as well, in newspapers. But it was just that in those days only there was a certain, a category of people who were, reading newspapers, even
Yeah.
Urdu newspapers or English newspapers. So it's just access through internet and social media is rapid and vast. Everybody who cannot read, who cannot write, but they are watching these memes, so it's widespread. Definitely the impact is also multiplying.
Exactly. Can you please
Misinformation is.
elaborate? Can you please elaborate on the psychology of the people making memes? So, during these intense times, we saw that how the Pakistani nations were making memes very in a light-hearted way. We were very happy that maybe some actors and actresses will join us,
Yeah.
or maybe, it was very light-hearted. However, the memes by the Indian side were very aggressive and violent and very war forward.
This is going to be a
So-
meme too as well.
so-
And please do complete what you were saying before.
So, what do you have to say regarding that psychology and what you were saying before?
Yes, sure. Okay, so I think it depends on the nation as well. I'm addressing to your question now, because I think generally Pakistan and Pakistani people are very positive, very very light-hearted. At the same time, I think it's a responsibility of all of us and people who are making these memes to just regard the as both the aspects, information,
Exactly.
disinformation. I think it
Responsibility is the main element that we need to
exactly
strive for. And thank you
exactly.
so much for enlightening us and carrying forward this session and enlightening us about how memes play
Well,
an
I've made
integral role
another
in
meme
our
as well. I've
society.
made a mustache over here. But for people who are out there, ladies and gentlemen, please make sure that you look after yourselves. Thank you, Eesha. You're a wonderful contribution to our team. For everybody who's out there, look after yourselves. 1, 2, 3. Let's say it together. Good morning. Have a great day. Have a great week ahead.